Good evening, students. Welcome to our class. In our last class, we have studied about some basics of classification and different taxa of classification. What do you mean by taxa? These are the levels which are in which the organisms are grouped according to their relationship or differences. Now we will further study more about the biological classification and what are the basis on which organisms are classified. So we will start with an introduction. What is classification? Classification is arrangement of organism into the groups based upon the similarities and differences. What is its importance? It makes study easy. How it makes study easy? It make the system of organisms well organized. That is, if we need a certain group, for example Panthera, to study, we can easily go to the animal kingdom and search for the genus Panthera, which will include the species like Tigris, Leo and Leo. It helps in understanding the relationship between the groups. It can be group of species, group of genus, group of families, classes, order, even phylum. It relieves the evolutionary history. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is, when it comes to the evolution, how from the single cell multiple cellular organism is developed, and how when we reverse engineer or reverse study that, how these organisms are generated from the previously existing organism, and how they are converted into certain specific modifications. You can understand a lot of an entire group on the basis of studying one or two organism of that class, genre, etc. Now it comes to history of classification. The first one to classify the organism was the father of zoology, who was Aristotle. Aristotle divided the animals into two groups. One is anima or enema. Anima is the one which do not have red blood cell, and enema which have the red blood cell. He classified the plants into three groups: herbs, shrubs, and tree, based on the stem and the duration. The longer they occur, they were classified into trees. The shorter lifespan they have, they were classified into herbs, or the structure of their stem. What were the demerits? Demerits was, it was artificial, not based upon the uh, natural system, or you can say natural abilities of the organism, but on the artificial. It was confusion. For example, amphibia. Some amphibia has red blood cell and some has blue, which creates a lots of difference between them. Then another scientist came in the line. He was called father of botany, and his name is Theophrastus. He grouped them into the herb, shrubs, undershrubs, and tree. He also written a book called Historia Plantarum. He described about 480 plants in this, and how they reproduce, their juices, their gums, their raisins. After that, a scientist named John Ray come into l- eyes of on the earth, the first to define species. He also returned and explained further the discoveries of Theophrastus, and written a other book, Historia generalis plantarum, which contains about 18,000 species. Divided plant into perfect and imperfect system. Then another scientist came. Then another scientist come named Augustine de Condol. He introduced the taxonomy in 1813. Then one of the most important person in the he was one of the most important figure in the field of taxonomy. He written a book Systema Naturae in which he classified plants and animals. He named over 4,400 animals and 8,000 plants. He also introduced the binomial nomenclature and taxonomic hierarchy. Then comes another scientist, Bentham, group pair of scientists, Bentham and Hooker. Have lot of they introduced the natural system of classification, and they introduced 202 families in genera plantarum. Then Engler and Prental comes. They introduce the phylogenetic system of classification. Then this term is very new in the field of classification. We will learn about this in this video. The type of classification, the artificial, natural, and third one is phylogenetic classification. In artificial classification, based on the habit, habitat, morphology, number of organs, whatever the demerits, the demerits was is superficial. The place unrelated organism together, like pet and bird, because they can fly, so he classified them as birds, but they are not actually birds, they were mammals. We further discovered that the natural system based upon the morphology, anatomy, embryology, and physiology. What are the merits of this? The group related organism together show affinity and origin, means where the organism come for, but it also ignore the habitat and their adaptation. The most important is the third system is phylogenetic system, we which was introduced at last, and it is the base of our modern classification based on the evolutionary relationship, means if an organism have to be classified, it has to be classified according to their evolutionary history. For example, if humans were to be classified or organized, they should be closely related to the apes, not any other mammals. Because, as we know, they, the humans are the apes are the ancestor of humans, represented as a cladogram or family tree. Use of molecular homology, cytotaxonomy, chemotaxonomy, and numerical taxonomy. What are these terms? These are related to the biochemicals which are present inside the body of organisms. Right. For example, a certain flower or group of flower produce a certain nectar which attracts animals, and they all have similar fragrance based upon that molecular cytology, cytoplasm, chemotaxonomy and numerical taxonomy as parts of number. It was the certain characters of organism was given a number if the same characters was present in another organism, the numbers will be matched together. For example, if hand has to give a number of 5, then another organism which have hands is also given the number 5. Cytotaxonomy, the study of chromosome, the number of chromosomes, pair of chromosome. Chemotaxonomy based upon chemical constituent, for example protein, alkaloid. Number taxonomy, computer based calculated similarities. System of classification, and the first one to classify organisms, as we remember, is Corollas Linnaeus, and he classified two kingdoms, plant and animal. Marriott first systematic attempt was given by Corollas Linnaeus. Demerit, he put the prokaryote and eukaryote in the same. Fungi placed in the plant and protist euglena slime modules. Three kingdom classification was given by Ernest Haeckel. Uh, he given the, he added the protista in, and there was three kingdoms which are merits. Unicellular organism placed separately. He was the first one to separate this. What are the demerits? He combined the eukaryote and prokaryote together. Fungi, bacteria are not properly placed. He also excluded viruses. In four kingdom classification given by Copeland in 1956, there is introduction of third kingdom, that is Monera, which consists prokaryote and protista, which is discovered earlier, and metaphyta and metazoa. Phyta means plant and zoa means animal. He was the first to recognize the prokaryotes as a different kingdom. What were the demerits? In protista there were still organisms which are not classified properly. The fungi and algae are all not separated, were not separated. And today we study mostly this classification during our schools, that is five kingdom classification, which consists of five kingdom: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. What were the criteria? There are following criteria on which these are separated: cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, phylogeny. Just to get a brief, these two are unicellular and this is prokaryote, this one is eukaryote. Okay, and these three are multicellular except of yeast in fungi. Of these three, these two are separated because they have cell wall, and they do not have cell wall, they are flexible. On the basis whether they can synthesize their own food or not, they were classified as fungi and plantae. What are the merits? The separated fungi from the plant reflected better phylogenetic pattern. and demerits it also excluded, like the others. Virus lichen or excluded. The last and the latest one classification is a three domain classification, or you can say six kingdom. It was given by Woese in 1990. It consists of three domain. Domain 1 is archaea, or you can say archaebacteria. Domain 2 is eubacteria. Both of these were present in Monera in earlier classification. In whose classification, they both are divided into two domains. Domain eukarya consists protist fungi, plantae, and animals. What were the merits? The prokaryote separated into the archaea bacteria show evolutionary closeness to the archaea and bacteria. Demerits the still excluded virus lichens and require advanced molecular study. You cannot just start classifying with the method of whose. You need to have the knowledge of molecular biology to study it or to classify them. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening me. Hope you like it. Have a nice day.